So I'm out here at my sister's house, and this is her field. There's a creek that actually runs back in through here. So all this is just wild, untreated, right? And we have some opium lettuce growing out here. I've got, let me show you guys how this is: prickly lettuce, opium lettuce, wild lettuce. This is what it looks like. And these are the leaves. That's what they look like. And how you identify this is by the back. This spine that goes up the leaf will have these little prickly, trying to get it on here for you guys, little prickly, see them? And that's why it's called prickly lettuce. So this works on the receptors of the brain and can act as a pain medication. You can, I think I'm going to grab some of this and do some alcohol tinctures, probably. My husband's good at cooking it down a little bit more. So I'll put a video together on that, I think. But look, we've got a lot. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here's 1, 7. I'm glad she has this growing here because I don't. 8, 9, 10. And they'll shoot up flowers like this and bloom out. These are actually, this is sow thistle, I believe. It's more prickly on the outside of the leaves, and it's a good, this is good for a liver cleanse and cancer. See what else we got. I think that's more sow thistle. We've got more opium lettuce right there. So I think I'm going to, oh, look at that one back there. That's a big one too. Let some of them bloom out. That way I can get seed. I might walk on down. So she's definitely got a pretty good batch. Look at our red clover. I don't have red clover growing at my house either, but I know that she has it, so we're getting some of this too. Look at all of it in the middle she's got going there. So she has got wild opium lettuce. Look at, here's another patch of it. She has got it everywhere. Oh my goodness. I do want to get the lettuce before it bolts and flowers. At that point, they say it's a lot more bitter. And plus, all the energy from the plant is going into reproducing its seed. So it's best to get the leaves and the energy and the medicinal properties that we're wanting before they flower and while the energy is going into the leaf development. So I just picked all this lettuce, wild lettuce from my sister's house. It was everywhere. So I got a pretty good batch of it, and we're gonna rinse it up. We're just rinsing it off. Although we were saying it should be pretty clean. So we're rinsing it off. And we're gonna cook it down. So my husband had a totally different idea than I did. I was going to cut it up with scissors, but he's got it out on the chopping board. I thought he wanted me to mix it up within the Ninja. Do that when we get it in the water.
Yeah.
So we're cutting all this up, and we're going to use some of my spring water that I use. And cook it down, or cook it in this crock pot
Tell you what, let's, instead of putting it in the crock pot, let's dump this in a bowl.
Okay, so now we're adding a little bit of water. Once he's chopped it up, I'm gonna blend it really fine in my Ninja here.
This is a real good one right here.
I'm gonna dump it in the crock pot. So we have officially made a mess. But our crock pot here is pretty, I mean, it's full. I was worried we were not going to fit it all, but we have. So what we're going to do is we're going to cook this on low for 24 hours. And it is going to extract the compound. And then we're going to cook the water off and be left with the paste. Okay, so there we go. We've got it on low. Like I said, covered up. We're going to, and it, I mean, like I said, this puppy is full. I'm curious to see how much paste we get out of it. And then, I don't know if we'll boil it off or continue to cook it down in the crock pot. But sometime tomorrow, we will be straining the water from the plant. So we've been cooking my lettuce for probably going on like 16, 18 hours now. And it smells so good in this house, you guys. It's like it reminds you of your grandma's house. Just a good old pot of greens. I'm going to eat some more later tonight because I'll tell you, I sipped on this. I probably drank about, just scooped some of the liquid out of there and drank 15 milliliters of it, I guess. And I slept like a log. And then I took another 15 milliliters when I got up today. It definitely does have a sedative effect. It's actually, I was kind of tired. I was yawning a lot. But and I actually laid down, for about 30 minutes, just laid down watching TV, and it's eased up now. But yeah, so it's definitely got that sedative effect too. What we're going to do here in a little bit is strain the greens from the water. Then we're going to put the water back in the crock pot and continue to cook it down until all the water is cooked off and we're just left with the substance. And I imagine we're not going to need a whole lot of it because, like I said, it was about 15 milliliters, of the water, and I slept like a baby. Okay, so we have strained all of the lettuce from the water and put the water back in the crock pot, and we have it on low. We're going to be cooking it overnight, leaving the lid cracked a little bit so the steam can come off and the water can evaporate. And then we'll be left with the paste. This method has definitely been a process. We've been probably working on this for 30 hours. It's probably going to be 48 before it's done. Next harvest, I'm probably going to dry some leaves, break them down into powder so we can make tea. You can also make alcohol or glycerin tinctures with this as well. This is just the way my husband really likes to do it. So this is what we went with on our first batch. So my husband has gotten a little impatient on the crock pot process. So he took some out of here and we've put it on the stove to cook it down faster. And it's actually cooking down pretty fast. I think we should just put the rest of the crock pot, rest on the stove. That way we don't have to worry about it for the day, you know. So we're actually just going to dump the crock pot in here, what's left in it, and cook the rest of it down on the stove because it is quicker. It's quicker. So we've got it cooked down. That's about the consistency we want it. So what we're left with is just the pure extract of the plant. And you don't need a whole lot of this, guys. I mean, I wouldn't go drinking, you know, a shot glass of this concentrated form. You know, start off with, you know, quarter of a milliliter, half a milliliter, you know, and just see how you do with it and go from there. It's like a black tarry. So my husband and I have harvested and made wild lettuce extract. So we took it for the past couple of days. So I'm going to talk about like what we felt like it did and medication, possible medication interactions and benefits. So it was really hard for me to find. There wasn't a whole lot, actually any information in my herbal books on wild lettuce, prickly lettuce, opium lettuce. Everything that I have read about it has been on the internet. So historically, it has been used for pain, insomnia, and cough. I actually come across a really interesting article. It was a paper that an English doctor had wrote in 1812 about how he used a powder to treat whooping cough in children, and it apparently worked. And it actually had letters from other doctors that had written him where they had used it and it had worked as well. So the main component there is going to be what's believed to have the pain relieving and sedative effects is lacticarium, and that is the milky white substance that comes from the plant. Now, we chopped up the leaves and the stem both and used it in our concoction. You know, it gets the name opium lettuce because they say it resembles, you know, opium, but it does not contain opium. But also the poppy plant exudes this milky white substance as well. So it is similar, but then again, not, right? So my husband and I, using it, noticed that, okay, so I would recommend using this as like at nighttime. For we both kind of felt like it did help with like arthritic type pain. I have arthritis in my back and in my hip. He's had a couple of spinal surgeries. So, you know, we both felt like it helped in that area some. I also have like some nerve pain. I really didn't feel like it helped nerve burning pain. It was more of the arthritic type pain. Also, we both felt like it did help us sleep better. And it's like it's like a window. It's like you hit a window and it helps you sleep. But I think if you miss that window, it can kind of flip on you and key you up. So we were taking it during the day. So I take it the next day too. And both of us felt a little jittery, and which subsided, when we stopped taking, didn't really take another dose, because we both noticed, we thought, okay, this is making us pee a lot, so it was acting as a diuretic. My husband felt like he was sweating more, so we felt like it was more of like a detox type thing, and it kind of, like I said, keyed us up a little bit. I felt like it also helped with decreasing some GI inflammation. Now, this plant contains hyoscyamine, and they use that in a lot of the inflammatory bowel diseases. And with the other components in the plant, it's not really going to dry you up, because it's like I said, with Big Pharma, what they do is they isolate compounds. They're like, oh, we love this compound, we're going to isolate it, put our twist on it, and manufacture it, right? Just completely disregarding all of the other compounds that come in a plant. So it's like with opioids, for example, and NSAIDs, they isolate the morphine and the codeine, but completely disregard all the other chemical compounds in that plant. And what is a major side effect of pain medication is bowel problems, where when it's all balanced out, we don't have the side effects like we do with Big Pharma. So I did feel like I said, it did kind of decrease some bowel inflammation. So if you had like ulcerative colitis, diverticulitis, Crohn's, gastritis, any, intestinal issues, this is something that could possibly benefit you. The fact, too, being that it is a diuretic. It acted as a diuretic. I would not use this if I was taking Lasix, spirlactolone, Bumex, any medications like that. Also, it can lower your heart rate. So if you were taking blood pressure medications, it could further lower, your heart rate or your blood pressure. And like I said, it does have that kind of sedative, mellow you out, help you sleep effect. So if you were taking any sleep medications, antidepressants, anti-anxiety medications, mood stabilizers, that's definitely something to consider and maybe consult your doctor about. So I guess, overall, in my experience with this, is I would use it as, something to maybe help me out, mellow me out, and sleep. And if I was wanting to do that, I generally don't have problems with sleep, or maybe some, osteoarthritis pain. I could see that it would help with that. As far as like a cleansing and a diuretic, I prefer dandelion far more, because dandelion didn't give me that jittery effect. And it could be that we just took a little too much. When I was making the brew, I was, sipping it. I'd get a tablespoon, was taking like a tablespoon of the water and the extract. And let's see, the next day, I think I took a tablespoon of it, and then when we finished it, I dipped my finger into the extract, and honestly, that would be enough of the extract. I mean, don't go taking 15 milliliters of the pure extract, okay? Because they do say that it can cause, some hypnotic effects or hallucinations if it's consumed, too much of it is consumed. So that's been, my experience. Had fun doing it, and like I said, we've got a jar of it now, and I think my husband likes it a little more than I do. And he's actually, we've made it before, and I didn't take any, but he took it. So, but yeah, so that's that, and it's growing everywhere right now, guys. The best time to harvest is really right before it blooms. I think I got to it a little earlier. Actually, it turned out great. It turned out great. So it's going to be more bitter if it blooms. So you kind of want to catch it now, when they're, 5-6 feet tall. I think I got a couple little 3 feet tall ones. So yeah, so it's growing everywhere right now.